All right, North Star has entered the contest, so let's talk about him. So North Star enters the contest with physical resistance, slow, block penetration, and reinforced passive, and a whole bunch of other interesting mechanics, and we're going to get into all of that. But first, we got to talk about his combo. What's his combo like? Now, playing him, he kind of reminded me a little bit of Quicksilver. He's kind of clunky a little bit because he does so many hits at once, and it can be a little bit off-putting, especially if you're trying to do medium, light, medium, or medium, light, 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 or any way you like to do your combo. He does them so quickly. It's just a little off-putting, but not that bad. If I describe him, he's a little bit like a downgraded version, or a poor man's version of Quicksilver, in my opinion. Still a good champion, but you know, some things I don't know. We're going to get into all that and everything, but yeah, his combo a little clunky to me, but that's me. Let's talk about his strengths. What are his strengths? One of his strengths is longer duration fights. North Star Kit takes a little bit of time to get rolling. He needs to build up momentum to get to both lower the cooldown on speed burst and increase the number of prowess he gains with every attack. This means that he won't reach his peak damage potential in time for shorter duration fights. However, in longer fights where he's able to really gain momentum and capitalize on multiple speed bursts, he's able to reach some very, very high damage ceilings and loop lots of special attacks. So yeah, I think he will be interesting for, like, you know, maybe Necropolis. I'm pretty sure some people might use him there, or the Abyss, or maybe even Labyrinth. But longer duration fights, he's that guy, and I can't even deny it. Like, it was fun playing in Abyss of Legends with this guy, and I had a good time. A lot of damage, and interesting damage. He also has prowess. In typical mutant fashion, much of North Star's damage is gained through prowess. He gets 1 prowess per momentum. He has every time he activates a special attack, and he can pause all his prowess via SP1. Yeah, like, I was playing him and throwing my SP1 repeatedly, and the damage just kept ramping. I don't know if he has a ceiling cap. Maybe he does. I don't think I've reached it, but his ceiling, if he does have one, it's really high. Also, Reverb. Reverb is a new ability that causes a champion outgoing hits to deal bursts of additional physical damage based on the damage the hit dealt, very much like how trauma works. North Star is able to have lots of Reverb effect active at once, which means all his hits, especially those enhanced by prowess and the critical rating that speed burst grants, will deal significantly increased damage. And he also has slow. North Star has easy access to slow thanks to his SP1. This slow is also a passive, which means it cannot be purified by skill champions. Its duration is also increased for each momentum he has, so it'll have longer and longer uptime as the fight progresses. So again, longer the fight duration, the better he is, and I'm not even mad about that. So, but what are his weaknesses? His weaknesses are interesting. Abilities are triggered by special attacks. Many of North Star key abilities are either triggered when he activates a special attack or on individual special attack hits. This means champions with power control effects can prevent him from triggering SP specials or able to stop his ramp. Also, and champions who lower offensive ability accuracy would stop his abilities from triggering. So yeah, if you can manipulate his power, he's pretty much a noodle. Or if you can reduce his ability accuracy, also a noodle. And also another one of his weaknesses would be critical hits. While North Star isn't overly focused on crits, he does have some potential abilities that can trigger when he lands critical hits during the special attack. So abilities that prevent him from critting will decrease his effectiveness. Fortunately, he also is able to decrease this critical resistance of champions. But let's talk about his immunities. Oh wait, he doesn't have immunities. Son of a bitch! Let's talk about his awakened ability. Now, in my opinion, he doesn't need to be awakened. Like, one of his awakened ability is whenever the North Star will gain momentum, gain 5,000 physical resistance, passive for 6 seconds. Duration is increased by +2 seconds per momentum, max stacks 1. And also, while a physical resistance effect is active, gain a reinforced passive and incoming hits have 60% reduced block penetration. So again, I wouldn't awaken him or use any awakening gems or 6 stones on him at all. I think he's fine just is, which is a bonus. I mean, every champion does benefit from their sick ability. Him, in my opinion, I mean, having good physical resistance may help in battlegrounds or maybe war, but that doesn't really help him with damage output, because 90 times out of 10, if you're using him, you're going to be using him offensively, because I don't think he's a really good defender. I don't think he really brings all that much to the table. I think he's kind of relying on his offensive capabilities, and defensively, I think he's a liability. And his utility, I don't know if he has much utility, at least much I will benefit from, but that's me. I think his utility is okay. I've seen better, but yeah. And here he is at 6,200. Not much of a difference in my opinion. I think it was just okay. No complaints here, but I didn't really see a difference between him awaken and unawaken. I'm not going to be relying on that physical resistance unless I'm using him in battlegrounds, and even in battlegrounds I wouldn't rely on it because anyone can melt him with some kind of debuffs. His prestige is 18,240, so not bad prestige. I don't know if I would really use him for his prestige at all, but that's me. He's an interesting champion. I think offensively he's kind of a juggernaut though. Let's talk about those synergies. Now, I will admit his synergies were kind of interesting. Like, he has synergy with Sasquatch and Guardian. When Speed Burst is ready to be activated, North Star combat power rate is increased by 15%, so not bad. With Iceman, heavy attacks remove all stacks of personal pause to deal a burst of 5% of attack rating and physical damage per reverb and prowess effect on North Star, so not bad. And with Quicksilver, successfully dodging an attack grants a reverb charge and causes their cooldown for Speed Burst to briefly expire. Cooldown 3 seconds. So yeah, his synergies actually are not that bad. Like, I think he benefits more from his synergies than his synergy partners. And the other couple of synergies with Angela, Loki, and all of them, they're just meh at best. But Quicksilver, Iceman, and Sasquatch, I think that could be a very interesting synergy team that can do a lot of questing and clear a lot of interesting content that Kabam may throw in us in the future. So yeah, I think his synergies not bad. I was kind of impressed. I expected him to have lackluster synergies because the last few champion synergies kind of were let down, but this guy, he definitely does benefit from his synergies, and I think his synergies also help with the his synergy team. So yeah, I'll give it a A+ for his synergies because wow. But those are my thoughts. Leave a comment below on what you think of his synergies. Let's talk about him on defense. And I've already said it throughout this video so far. I think he's going to be a liability on defense. Anyone can melt this guy. He doesn't have any immunities. He may have his physical resistance if he's awake, but again, someone like Archangel or Scorpion or Void, anyone will melt almost any tech champ will melt him. So Infamous Doom, Nimrod will just destroy him because he doesn't really bring much to the table when it comes to defense, and I'm going to just melt him right here with 1 SP2. So boom, game over. And I did try with Scorpion. Again, with those debuffs, he's going to be a complete liability, and his specials are easy attack. I wouldn't recommend pushing him to an SP2. His SP2 is a little bit difficult to dodge, but his SP1, just outspace it and you're good. So what stat focus is what I recommend? Stat focus, I think offensively, critical rating to help with his crit damage on his special, especially that SP2, which can do a lot of burst damage in my opinion. So that's what I have on offense for battlegrounds. And defense, I will add more physical resistance to him because the goal is, since he's kind of a liability on defense, the more physical resistance he has, the more tanky he'll be, and the more difficult it will be to, you know, get a win against this guy. But if you just out damage or outspace his SP1 and bait his SP1 for the entire fight, you're pretty much good. I don't think he's going to be a problem on defense, especially with almost any tech champion. Like, I expect him to be a little bit more challenging, kind of like Quicksilver on defense, but again, he's a poor man's version of Quicksilver. That's how I viewed him. Still a good champion, but I think Quicksilver's a better defender. And Relic, the only Relic I think would work best for him was the Gambit Relic, because, you know, physical resistance and, you know, all that kind of stuff that, you know, Gambit's Relic brings to him. But other than that, there weren't many Relics that I think would benefit him. I really hope Kabam starts making more Relics because we definitely need them, especially with these new champions coming out. But that's my opinion. Masteries. What Masteries is he good with? Now, the Masteries I would recommend, Glass Cannon. Any source of damage increase will be good with North Star because his reverb effects scale their physical damage off the damage he's dealt to begin with. The base health reduction from Glass Cannon is also mitigated by the survivability mechanics and North Star's ability. And parry with Superfly. In order to trigger Speed Burst, North Star first attack needs to be a dash attack. The most common way to do this would be punishing the opponent's special or heavy attack. However, it's possible to do after parrying by dashing back and then doing a dash attack while the opponent is still stunned. However, this is the only doable if your Also have Stupefy and is much more difficult if the opponent reduces the stun duration, for example, due to Limber. So keep that in mind when playing him. And I don't really think he will be good for the damage masteries at all, because you need to throw your special 1 and 2. But also precision. Northstar has a handful of abilities in his special attacks that trigger when the speed attack special attack was critical. The majority of his crit rating will come from speed bursts, but additional crit will be from masteries is helpful. Simpler, his 7-star version benefits from crit rating stat focus, and I've already said that. Crit rating would help, and also physical resistance on defense, but those are my opinion. Do leave a comment below if you think he'll be better with other masteries, but I definitely think the damage masteries are out of the question. He needs to throw his special 1 and special 2 to really be effective and do get those prowess. So I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, people are gonna do what they want. So good luck out there if you do run the damage masteries. So what are my thoughts overall on this guy? Well, overall, he's a good champion. Here are my pros and cons. I think he's fun and Awakens. I think he's easy to play. I don't think he's AI dependent at all. And he has great burst damage on his SP2. But with that being said, my cons are he's kind of a bad defender. He does need some ramp up. He has no immunities and he's one-dimensional. What I mean by that is offensively, great. This dude can do some damage, but he doesn't have much utility. He's not good on defense. And I think he's a little clunky to play because of his combo. So those are just my thoughts. Again, I still think he's a decent champion. I don't know if I will be happy getting him from the crystal, but yeah, well, I guess, I mean, as a 7-star, I guess he would be okay, but yeah, I just don't know about this guy. I might have to pass on this guy. Again, good champion, but I wouldn't grind for him. But again, I don't grind for a lot of champions, so I don't know if people would take my word for that, but that's me. So yeah, leave your comments below if you would be happy pulling this guy. I don't think I would be all that happy with him. He's not a bad champion, but he's just not the champion for me. I already have Quicksilver, and I feel like Quicksilver does everything he does, but better. And he's a better defender, in my opinion, too. But someone out there will probably be roasting me in the comments about how good he is, but I still might need to play him more to get a better understanding. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But decently good champion, in my opinion. If you did like this video, please hit the like button for me. And if anyone new here, if you can hit that sub button for me, I'll greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.